What's up, guys? Momo169 here, looking to show you guys how to install the 7 Days to Die dedicated server on Linux CentOS 7 uh, for with 64-bit. Now that Alpha 14 has been released, we actually have 64-bit availability to run the server on, which saves us on our CPU usage and our memory usage as well. A lot more stable. Pimps did a really good job. Big shout out to Falcon for helping me out with the CentOS-07. Silent Thunder, who helped me out with working on the actual 7 Days server itself, and Alok, who as you may know, the Locks Fixes did a lot of work with trying to get let us run servers on Linux itself. So shout out to those guys. So what we're going to do is just quick video, show you how to install it, how to get it running, and we'll have links and stuff like that at the bottom of the video. This video is also going to double as a test for us. We did see a minor issue. We're going to see if we can recreate that issue and then follow up with a fixed video for that as well. So let's get started. So as you can see here, we have PuTTY open, access to our server container, and we're going to go ahead and start. The first thing you need to do is, depending on what kind of operating system you have to make sure you have the prerequisites. So in order to get those, sorry, I digress, the prereqs that you guys need, and if you give me just a second here, I will run all of those for you guys to see, and I'll also put it up in the notes so you guys can run it as well. But let me find this real quick. Okay, so you need to, in this case we use yum. You're going to need glib, libcc, cc, libstdcc++, and then xml starlet at the end of all that. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a yum update. You can see here it looks for everything, found it, installed it, good to go. And now what we're going to do is we're going to do a yum install lib stdc++, so that's equals .i686. Okay, it's going to run it. It's going to ask you to install it. We're going to click yes. Let it download. Now complete. Now the next thing we're going to do is yum install lib gcc.i686. Same thing, run it through, says it's got to update it. You guys want to do this anyway. My server has this automatically pre-installed anyway, part of the Fedora package that I have. So you guys are going to want to check to try to do that anyway. The next one you're going to want to do is yum install glibc.i686. Run it. Same thing. I already have the package. Nothing to do. Last thing we need to do is yum install XML starlet. Okay, so as you see here, it says no package XML starlet not available. So that means we're missing a package for it to run. In this case, with CentOS 7, you need the following package to install XML starlet, which is yum install fl-release. Boom. Yes, we want to do this. And we're complete. Now we can go ahead and do XML starlet, loading plugins. Now we can see that it's properly doing what we want it to do. So once this finishes up, we'll move on to the next step. Okay. It says retrieving key. Just click yes. Click. We don't click in Linux. Okay. Now we have all, that's it. That's all we need to do for our prerequisite packages. Now here's an important fact to know. With Alok's Fixes, he's done some great work with this thing. What you do is when you run the installation for the server itself, it will actually tell you what you need if you're missing anything. So don't be worried about whether or not something's going to work or if I missed a package. It will tell you if you missed a package or not. So the next thing we're going to do, and I'm not going to type this, and I'll put all this stuff in the comments. I'll also link Aloxfix's webpage so you can read it and do the manual install. This is not for the manual install. This is just for the quick automatic installation. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to wget and then this address right here. We need this right here to download the Bootstrapper client, which will in turn download the server. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and it's been saved. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to put this code in as well, chmod plus x bootstrap. What that does is that changes the permissions for Bootstrap. Okay, so we'll do that real quick. Nothing, and now what we'll do is run Bootstrap. Now this is what it tells you. It says, okay, Bootstrap is basically saying you have three options. So what we're going to do is run bootstrap-I to install. Enter the, now it says it will download the 7 days to die dedicated server Linux dedicated server Bootstrapper. So this is not based on Debian. This is a CentOS-07 thing. So for missing prerequisites, it will tell us, but for the most part, we have everything. It would have told me if we were missing like GCC or something like that, but in this case, it didn't. So we're good to go. So we're going to continue anyway. Oh, wrong code. Okay, so, see, so it tells us we need to run GCC. So what we'll do is we'll yum install GCC. Loading our plugins. Yes, and I'm actually glad I forgot to do that because it actually shows you guys, what happens if you miss a package. So we'll do that real quick. If you don't mind if I puff on my e-cig. Alright, that's completed right there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to run the Bootstrapper-I automatically. We're not going to wait for it to yell at us. So Bootstrapper-I will install 7 days to die server. Do we want to continue? Yes. And here we go. And this is the point where I need to copy all of this info because we need it for, okay, so it's going to ask no file in the directory. It's because we didn't manually create the directory. It's fine. Linux will create it. Just yes to continue. With this, you don't have to log into our Steam account. So we'll just be able to continue with the installation. Waiting. So this is the part that takes a little bit. Now, something to be aware. After all this is set, you never want to run your server or start your server as root. You want to be able to, or you never want to log in as root. The only time you ever want to log in as root is when you first open up a fresh server. As soon as you have everything installed, you are going to want to disable root login, and we will also cover how to do that as well. Once our server is up and running, we've changed all of our permissions so that way the server is 100% good to go and get run. So we'll cover that for you as well. We're just waiting for this to get started up. So just a little bit to do. So we're at 81%. This is usually that moment when you go and like make a sandwich or something because you've been working on Linux for 8 hours straight and you've never found time to eat. So you finally decide to get up and go eat some food. In this case, I've done this 5 times now. Literally, my crash course to Linux was to install a 7 days to die server. on Linux, CentOS-07. Okay, so now we can see that everything is installed. Okay, now what we need to do is, yep, right far. Okay, so now what we need to do is cd, probably be good if I click cd/home, and what we'll do is we'll ls-l, and we can see that the 7 days to die folder has now been created. Before it wasn't there, and it's under the user's 7d2d. The script automatically created a user for us, so we did not have to create one. So we'll go into 7d2d. What we're doing now is making sure, okay, so we see that Steam CMD has it's under the root permissions. That's fine. You only need Steam CMD when you're actually updating the engine. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is you're going to 7d2d dot sh update engine. Now what this does is this updates the engine for whatever. So this is what the command you'll run every time the Fun Pimps release an update. So in this case, last night we released 14.1. I brought my server down, ran this script, and we were good to go. So we do this, and this is currently going to down the 14.1 patch. Steam and this command right now only has 14, alpha 14 installed. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to 7d2d.sh update script. Okay, what this does, okay, we'll have to go back to that afterwards. For some reason that update script is not working. So, okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to change our root user info, so you cannot log in with your root user. What you're going to do is you're going to get vi/etc/ssh/shhd underscore config. Okay. Now this brings up our configuration file, and we will scroll all the way down, and you'll look over here and you'll see permit root login, and you will hit I so we can insert, type no, escape, Control Z, saved it. Now if we go back into that and scroll all the way down, you can see it's highlighted as no. You want to make this is very important that you do this. It is a huge security risk for your entire server and the equipment that it's running on if you do not disable this, because basically people can backdoor into the Linux server and just start deleting files and cause chaos for you. You don't want to do that. So we'll see that again. Okay, now technically our server is installed, but it's not ready to start yet. To start it, we need to create an instance. Okay, so what you do is you type 7d2d, or td I should say, .sh instances create. What this does is this brings up all of the options that you want to set your server to. Okay, so the configuration file, which you can always go back and edit later, and we will do that. So for now, we're going to do Mulder's tests. Is the name of this instant, and we're going to, oh, we can't have spaces. Mulder's test. Okay, so that's key. That's how you'll start, stop, and yeah, start and stop the instance. Okay, so now our server name, which will be Mulder's test, and then the password will be blah blah blah, because we're not actually going to go live with this server. Well, we will for about 5 minutes. Public server false, because we're not going live with this. Port, you can change that to whatever you want. I recommend never going anything lower than 8,000. Do not put the port as 8080, 8081, or 8082. That will cause you many problems when it comes time for your players to connect and for you to actually do more edits within the server as you gain more experience. Okay, so in this case, we're going to leave it at 2,500 max players. We'll just hit 10. We're not going server description. It's going to be Mulder's tests for peeps to learn. All right. And then what the server description would be is if it was live, if it was public on the server lists, that's what you would see when you see people with what kind of mods they have, stuff like that. That's what that is. Okay. So now you got the website URL, which is if you made a website for your server, that's where you would type it in. When we don't have one in this case, anti-cheat, always keep it on. I mean, there's obviously workarounds, but if you're a good admin, you can get rid of the people that do try to come onto your server and basically try to cause havoc. So, but keep that on. It helps people really don't know what they're doing and they're trying to cheat anyway. Number of zombies, we're going to leave it at 60. I wouldn't go anything over 100, but do your research on that one. The more zombies, the more usage on the CPU and memory you're going to have. Control panel, in this case true. You access the control panel, gives you a live feed on the web um, so you can see exactly what's going on with the server, people who log in, their IPs, if they're hacking, just all kinds of information that you will need as you progress and get better at doing this. In this case, I leave the control panel at 8080. The reason password is just going to be something random. Again, this isn't going live. The telnet port 8081, I just leave it. Same thing. I have random password. Okay, now the random gen seed. Random gen seed is if you are going with a random gen and not navzone map. When you type something in, it creates an algorithm for the random gen. You can look these up on the internet. There's tons of players out there who have created random gen seeds and came up with what they made and what kind of environment and biomes they ended up with. So look that up before you go live with your server. Test a few of them out, see how you like it. In this case, we're going to go with my favorite, which is Atlantis. And then, and then now we're in the actual configurations of the game itself. So what we'll do is random gen, which is 1, survival mode multiplayer, friendly fire I leave as false, spawn menu false, block durability false. Again, all these options you can research on the internet. So what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of piece right through these real quick. Airdrop, length of day, day length, difficulty, zombies run, feral, just a bunch of different options to actually really create an environment for your players to get into, whether they're hardcore, just starting out, however you want to do it. So now it's saved and we're done. Okay, so now we're going to ls-l. Now we have an instance folder. We did not have an instances folder before. If we go into instances, we'll see Mulder's test, cd Mulder's test, ls-l. Now we have our mint and configs file. Okay, this is where the config file is what we just edited. So if you wanted to go back and edit something, you messed something up, vi config.xml, and there you go. You go in, say, oh, I wanted to drop the block durability modifier down by 10, hit I, go in, 90, escape, Z, Z. Now we're good. Now if we go back into that, you see it's saved as 90. The same thing with your admins file. If we go to admins.xml, we'll see here the instructions for it. basically, if you're going live with your server and you want to get yourself on in min mode so you can debug mode, fly, God mode, whatever you need to do, whatever floats your boat, you want to get rid of these exclamation points here. Find your Steam ID and put it into this. I'm not going to post mine right here on this video, but so we'll use this for giggles, and boom. And then you would save the file, and your permissions go from 0 to 1,000. So don't think of 1,000 as like, wow, that's a really good permission. 1,000 is 0 is the best permission level you can get. Okay, so if you put this at 1,000 right here, and you're not going to be able to access any of these permissions unless you set these to 1,000. So what we do is escape, save, and now we're good to go. Now all we have to do is start the instance. And before I do that, I'm going to copy all of this so I can put it in Pastebin so I can look at it later for editing. Just bear with me. Copy. And I'm over here on the other side real quick in Pastebin. Should have had this ready because I'm a horrible video editor. And okay, so now we're going to scroll all the way down. Now we will do instances. Oop, let me take that back. Now we will go, we need to check our file permissions. So if we go to cd/home/70 sdtd and ls-l, we want to make sure that these three engine instances, Steam, and templates say sdtd. They don't. Okay, so what we want to do is type the following command: shown -R sdtd : sdtd instances, and enter. Now if we ls-l to look at the rest of the files, you'll see that instances is now gone from root to sdtd user, which is what you need to do before you start your server. Don't worry about the Steam command. You really don't need to do anything with that. You're really just worried about your engine, your instances, and your templates. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start our server. So we're going to go 7dtd.sh instance. Oh, my bad. Yep. .sh start, and then your instance name, which in this case is Mulder's Test. And done. So now if we do top command, no, I'm not going to do it that way. Instances list. So the way you do that is 7dtd.sh instances list. And you'll see it pop up. This instance is running. Yes, your ports, and so far everything's good. So now let's connect to our new server. We'll get in here. Waiting all day. Somebody told me the joke the other day, this game should be called 7 Days to Load, but I really don't have a whole too terrible a time loading into the game since I got the new computer. So, still waiting. While we're waiting, if you guys have questions, comments, concerns, post in the comments. I'll be watching this video for a little while. I'm sure I'll come back to it. So what we're going to do now is not connect to my actual live server right now. So 2500 is our port. And our IP address, if you lose your IP, it's right here. And back to 7 days, Control V, and we have the password. Okay, so something's wrong, right? So for some reason we can't log in. So let's do CE/home/7ETV/instances/Mulder's test/config.xml. Make sure I have my information correct. I didn't want a CD. My bad. I wanted to view the directory, which for CentOS-07 is VIM. So we'll go scroll down. Go create files. EAC true. Spawn mode. Linus random gen. Oh, that's right. The password was blah blah blah. Okay. So now we just connect and type in blah blah blah, and we're in. We are now connected to your new 7 Days to Die server. If you have a third-party host or somebody who can host this for you, you can easily access all that with SSH. If you need to, if you have your own equipment, you probably already know what you're doing, but again, this is CentOS-07 specific. I noticed that looking on the internet, there was a, God, I love that new animation, it's so nice. If you have CentOS-07, I noticed that there's variations of documents on the internet when you're first getting started. So hopefully you guys like this video, it helps you out, and you're able to get in and start surviving with the best of them, and bring your friends along to boot. So again, this is Mulder169 signing off. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, if you have any comments, questions, concerns, gripes, bitches, complaints, you can submit them in the comments section below, and we'll get it figured out. All right, peace.